Greetings, friends. From heart to heart in this moment we speak. I am Kedraj. To the close-minded, to the unaware, to those operating from a state of fear, any form of evidence can be presented to them about any subject, and they will look away and point on the opposite direction, to something that is false, but only because they themselves find comfort in it. They want you to join their sect, if you will, so they do not feel alone in their beliefs. The energy people spend in trying to convince others of their own beliefs would be much more useful and help them move forward in leaps and bounds should they focus that energy on themselves, going within, seeking their inner light, something more meaningful that is already within them, instead of trying to convince others of whether the earth is flat of sphere. This too is understandable. Why? Because it takes more courage, more focus and patience to face one's own imbalances and to heal them. It is much too easy to constantly distract oneself by the dark's agendas than it is to work on discovering the secrets held within your own being. Perhaps it is time to take a break from the purposely planted distractions of the matrix, breathe, and return to your inner sanctuary. For what awaits you within is far more magnificent than anything in the outer world. All the light to you. I am Archangel Michael. I come to be with you at this time to help you to continue to understand who you truly are. How many of you, most of you, if not all of you, each and every night find yourselves with me, find yourselves with others who are working with you? Others from other systems, other planets, other families that you've had, who you were with in those times in your sleep state, very much unaware, though, that you are in that state. Nevertheless, whether you are aware of it or not, you are all working together with me to vanquish the old, vanquish the dark forces once and for all for this entire galaxy. For what you do here on the Earth is not only here for the Earth, but here for the entire solar system and beyond out into the galaxy. And as you go through your ascension process, so too is the entire galaxy going through this ascension. But you are the forerunners. Always remember that. You are the ones that come forward first and pave the way. Just as many of you know the story of John the Baptist paving the way for the Messiah to come. And as you have heard many times, you are the continuation of the Messiah. You are the continuation of the Christ consciousness here, once again to bring light to the earth. Just as he came to bring light to the earth, love to the earth, and to continue on throughout the many ages after him that would lead to this final point. This final point that, yes, indeed, you are approaching. Some of you call it the end of the movie, the end of the show, and indeed it is the end. The end of one part and the beginning of the new part of the journey which always continues on. There is never an end to the journey, only to that part of the journey that you have, as many of you know, volunteered to come here and be a part of this. At that time is coming closer and closer to an ending point, and then a new beginning to bright light and love here on the planet so that all people with all races, all religions, all come together as one and remember that they are one, and you join those of your families from the sky once again to continue on the evolution of mankind, the evolution of the humankind which has indeed spread throughout the galaxy and beyond. You come together now as one people, one race. Trust in yourself through this process, in yourselves individually and as a collective to bring about this great change, so that the great changeover and the solar flash can happen. It is only waiting. The God Source is only waiting for you to trigger the event, you, as the collective, to trigger it. Trust in the entire process and the plan that is in the works, that you have indeed been creating for some time now. You are creating this part of the plan and moving yourselves more and more into the timeline of your choosing. The old timeline is not for you. You have moved beyond it. You have passed beyond the point of no return. Not that any of you would want to return. All of you are here to move on and continue on with the ascension process. And to once and for all end this part of the journey, to end the show, end the movie. For indeed you are watching a movie, and it is time to reach this finale of that movie. I am Archangel Michael. I leave you now in peace and love and oneness, and let you continue to be who you are, to be yourself through this, and to not in any way fall back. Do not fall back to the old programming. Realize and understand that you are creating the new programming that is you.
Star, elder tree of life creation story. The One is a seed of life and the source of all. It is the original I Am. It is Creator. It is God. But as the one seed, It could not have an experience of itself with no mirror or reflection to see itself. So, the seed sprouted into a small, tender, fragile sapling as a great experiment to explore itself. It began to grow, building a strong, wide trunk that connected all life back to the One. Underneath this tree, it also grew deep roots in the soil of creation, creating a mirror opposite of what was growing above. This created what we know today as duality, which is still a part of the One. Large branches began to grow from the trunk, and secondary branches sprouted out from the main branches, and then little individual twigs grew from the secondary branches. It continued growing very far and away from the seed of oneness of the Creator, so as to explore all the different ways creation could be possible. Then leaves grew on the twigs of the tree of life, and it was beautiful. Then time passed, and fruit on the tree of life began to grow. When the fruit ripened, it grew heavy, and it fell to the earth, and they became the many new seeds of oneness. This began the great ages, great cycles and seasons. These new seeds were a part of the oneness. These many seeds also began to sprout and began the process all over again, but also became once removed from the one creation. After a few ages passed, the One that resides in all living things forgot it, was the One as it could only see the age it was living in, with all the different trees, roots, branches and fruits of truth. They forgot they all were actually the One, but all the way back to the beginning, the original Great One knew there was still a spark of the one source in all creation. No matter how many trees sprouted or how many great ages or seasons would pass, the one source also knew there would come an age, a time, a season, where it would become impossible not to see the great oneness again in all of creation. And when this time comes, all of life will light up with this knowing, and this light will be so glorious. It will be beyond anything we could have imagined before. This is the great return to the oneness of creation and what we are evolving into now. Awakening to oneness. Oneness lives in diversity. Oneness is true freedom,